Hey everybody, welcome back. So if you remember a year or so ago, I tested a battery spot welder by a company called Seesii, S-E-E-S-I-I. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. And I have tested a number of battery spot welders on this channel, and every one of them's worked good. Some of them have only really worked good on 0.08 nickel strip. You really get around 1, and especially, at 0.12, and I'm sure I'm getting these decimal points wrong. They really start to struggle. This one worked really well at 0.1 and 0.12. This new one, they reached out and asked me to look, is an upgraded version of this one, and this one should be able to do 0.2 millimeter nickel strip. Now, I don't have any 0.2 millimeter nickel strip, but I got some coming, and we're going to test it. But first, let's get it out of the box, and I'll put a link to the review of this one. I don't know off the top of my head if it's still for sale, but I will put a link to it, to my review, and a link to it if I can find it. And but this is the upgraded version. Now, I have not had this out of the box yet, so I haven't really even looked at it. So it comes with one roll of nickel strip. It comes with, there's another roll of nickel strip in there, and there's some extra welding tips, and it looks like there's a little piece of sandpaper. Comes with a manual. It comes with a USB-C charging cable. Comes with a manual. Let's take a quick look at the manual. Is it one of these big fold-outs that I just hate? No, it's a booklet. It's a booklet. Got a big barcode for customer service. Oh, nice big text. Thank you, Seesii. I really appreciate that. Shows you what the little control panel does. Shows you what it looks like. Now, this one does not have welding tips on the end of wires. They're built directly onto the end of the device itself. User guide, operating instructions, welding parameters, the screen, spot welding nickel sheet. So this looks like a really nice manual. It is all in English, which again, I appreciate. And yeah, not a bad little manual. I like that. Easy to read, which I appreciate. Comes with a little file, and there's actually two in there. I think one of these was in the package for the other spot welder. Only one of these came in this. So when I put it back together and I got their other spot welder out, I think I messed the contents up, because there was only originally one file in it. And then there is the unit itself, which is, what did I do with that other one? There it is over there. Seems like this is smaller. It is. It's a little longer. Well, it's a lot longer if you add the probes on the end. Let me get the box out of the way here. It's quite a bit longer if you add the box on the end. But, and the display looks like it's about the same size, but it's considerably slimmer, because I was thinking that if it's this big, I mean, I've got giant paws, but I think that would be even hard for me to hold and weld with, and certainly for anybody with smaller hands than me. But this is considerably slimmer. This is very doable. Even if you have smaller hands than me, that's very doable. So the probes go right in the ends, and there's going to be an on-off switch back on the back of the control panel here. Will the camera focus, or am I going to have to manually focus it? Let me manual focus it, and we'll see if we can't make that a little bit better. There we go. So we have, I can't see, I'm going to have to change my glasses, because it's a little bit small text for me with my computer glasses on. Here we go. So I couldn't even tell it was upside down. So we have two screws holding the end plate on. We have a power button, the plus button, the minus button, a Type-C charger cable, and thank you, Seesii. All of your stuff I've gotten from you has had a Type-C charger on it. I am getting to the point where if I see anything other than Type-C, I'm getting sick of messing with that stuff. So put Type-C on it. Thank you very much. So there's a power button on it. Let's press the power button and see what happens. Oh, it beeped. Am I still in focus there? Okay, so it says automatic, 3.7 volts. There's a battery indicator. Then it says pre-H D-L-A-Y. So pre-H, preheat, I'm guessing is 0.6 milliseconds. Gear is 60 milliseconds. Now, these things really only have one heat level, but they just apply it longer. So right now the gear is 60 milliseconds. So it preheats for 6 milliseconds and then it gives a 60 millisecond shot, and the delay is 1 second. That means that when you touch it to a battery like that, you have 1 second before it triggers, that's the automatic mode. There is probably another mode, and we will check out. But before I really try and put this thing to the test, I want to charge it all the way up, and that's what I'm going to do next. And hopefully by the time it charges up, I will have that nickel strip from Amazon. Worthy of note, I think, when you plug it in to charge it, the screen lights and tells you what the current voltage is, and you have a red light back here for when it's charging, which turns green when it's fully charged. So I have some sacrificial materials, some nickel strip, and even some sacrificial batteries to test. But before we do, let's just take a little bit better look at this manual to make sure that I know how I'm operating it. So long press the power button to open it, and you know what? On a scale of 1 to 10 for how much I like a manual, this is probably a 4 or a 5. On a scale of 1 to 10 for a manual for a Chinese product, this is probably a 7. The Chinglish is strong, there's no doubt about that, but it's large, it's readable, and it has good pictures in it. So you got to add something in for that. Even if some of the sentences are nearly unintelligible, I am going to add points in because they tried. So long press to turn it on, short press to change to preheat, delay, or which gear it's on. Which gear means power, but it's really not power. Hold down the power switch to switch between Chinese and English. The plus adds gears and time, which it's just time. Hold down switch from automatic to manual mode, and there is a manual mode, but to weld in manual mode you have to press the power button if I remember correctly, and unless you got big hands like me, that might be challenging, or else you're willing to use 2 hands. Minus, of course, reduces the gears / time. There's a light on the back, red for charging, green for charging completed, and it's got a 5-volt port on it. Now, yeah, and again, press and hold to turn on or off. If you don't do anything in 6 minutes, it turns itself off automatically. Automatic mode, after contact with the surface, the automatic spot welding happens. Manual, you have to press the power button to spot weld once. Maximum current is up to 800 amps. Fully charged can weld more than 800 times. 80 power adjustable. Short press to key control. Description of screen. Now it's got a neat little kind of, and I'll show you if I can zoom down on the screen. It's got a kind of a little like square wave to kind of show you what's happening. The preheat, the delay, and then the weld time. And charging instructions, welding head replacement. Now it comes with a set of welding tip replacements, but I noticed when you loosen the screws, they don't come out. And it says right here, after tightening the screws, it's necessary to pry up open to replace it. I think what they mean is, if you've already tightened it, after you loosen the screws, you have to pry it to get them out. And that is true. Loosening the screws alone won't get them out. So, and they recommend doing it as seldom as possible, probably because if you pry it and squeeze it together too many times, you'll break it. 0.1 to 0.2 millimeter nickel sheet, and I have both now. When you first turn it on, it's in automatic welding mode. Welding head detection, contact with metal can output once. After lifting, can be welded next time. Obvious, I think, at least obvious to me. Make sure it's all clean, everything's flat. Set the spot welding machine, press properly to make the welding needle and nickel sheet and battery contact is good. There's some Chinglish for you. No hanging, no bad contact. You can be good welding. Okay, whatever. Here's another one. Different nickel thicknesses, the use of different gears is not the greater the power of the better effect. Users can try which gear is more suitable. I'll let you decide what that means. I don't really think I need to know because I do know how to use these. They do recommend that you use a 45-degree angle going into your material. Now, the welding tips are rounded, which is good because some of the previous ones I've had are completely flat on the end. And if you go straight down, it's not going to work good. Also be aware, if you press too hard, it might require more power than the machine has since you're creating a lot of extra contact by pressing hard. And I haven't tried that with this one yet, but that is what I've discovered in previous ones. When it's lower than 3.7 volts, you should charge it. 0.2 nickel-plated recommended 60 milliseconds, 0.12 recommended 40 milliseconds. Spot welding range, spot welding 20 pieces. You should clean up the welding pen. Make sure the welding pen chuck screws are tightened. Please charge the battery to 4 volts for the first time and 45-degree angle. Some specifications and then some pages to tell you how not to be an idiot. So, I have a piece of material here and I actually practiced a little bit. See if I can show that to you. Let me lighten that up a little bit. There we go. So I did a little bit of practicing here. See if I can get the camera to focus on it. And this is a 0.8 nickel strip, which is smaller than what they call for. But I just happen to have some floating around. So I just stuck it on and it's on there tight. It's not coming off. That's not coming off. So we're going to try some more. I have some of the, I believe this is 0.1 they provided with me. Let's try, they provided with it. Let me zero my caliper out and we will check to see what that is. 0.12. I thought that was 1. Are we still on 0 millimeters? We are. Let's try it, okay? Okay, that's 0.12 they sent, and then this is some 0.2 that I bought. So 0.22, 0.21. So this is all the 0.2 stuff, 0.20, and it's on a roll. I just cut some pieces off. 0.21. So that's what we're going to be working with, and I have some batteries here. And this is thin wall tubing. I think that's 16th wall. So let's just try it here. So let me show you the screen. See if I can get the camera to focus on the screen. Let me wipe off what I spilled on it. Hang on. All right, let me see if I can show you the screen on this and keep it in focus. We want to hold the power button down. It beeps. It says welcome. And you can see it says 4.1 volts. We're fully charged and we're set to automatic. Then we have this little square wave representation of our three different parameters. The first is delay, and that's the flat area there. Then we have the preheat time where it jumps up and then it goes off again. And then we have the weld time, which right now is set to 53 milliseconds. And we can change these. Right now we are on preheat and I can press the up and down button and I can change my preheat. And it goes around in a circle. If you go too far, it starts over again. And then if we press the power button, and you see there's kind of that little arrow on which one we're changing. If we press the power button again, we're over onto the gear, and I can change the gear up and down. And the gear is the amount of milliseconds that it welds, and it tells you what it is right there. And if I press the power button again, now we're on delay. And here I can also move the delay up and down. So that's how the controls work. So let's set it back to its original parameters or someplace close. So that was with preheat. I think the preheat was set at like 5 or 6. The gear was set at about 50. And the delay was set to 1 second. So we're going to set the delay back to 1 second. All right, so with that done, let's start the welding. All right, I'm going to do the batteries, don't worry, but let's start with this, one of these 1 or 1.1 or whatever. And we're going to go at a 45-degree angle. There we go. Was that too much reflection? All right, let's see if I can hold it up close then. All right, so here we go. We're going to go right there. This is kind of awkward, so bear with me. All right, that seemed pretty good. Let me see if I can pull any of that off. No, that's pretty solid. Let's turn it up a little bit. What do you think? I'm going to leave the preheat alone, and I'm going to run the gear from 50 to 60 because I can. Gear, we're going to go to 60. I don't know that I think I would need to go to 60 for that because that welded that pretty good, but hell, why not? All right, I'm kind of buggered up here, but we're going to give it a go anyway. This is, I think this one is going to, unlike the ones that just use the probes, that you can, you know, each one, when you're using one in each hand, you can feel how much pressure you're getting with each one. This one's just going to take some practice getting a feel for it. And I definitely don't as yet have that feel for it. Let me try a different technique. Let's try putting it on one and then rocking it down till the other one touches. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. That's way better. Yeah, that's, if you touch it to one and then rock it until the other one comes in contact, I think you get a lot better feel for it. Let's try some of the 2.0. This is the, or not 2.0, 0.2 millimeter nickel strip. So this is the 0.2 millimeter nickel strip. So I'm going to come down to this. I'm going to leave it set to, let's see what we're set to here. I'm going to leave it set to focus camera. I'm going to leave it set to 60 milliseconds. 5 millisecond preheat, no 1 second delay. It seems to be working pretty good. So again, 45 degrees, focus camera. I'm going to put it on one, and then I'm going to rock it down till the other one touches. Oh yeah, okay, I like that technique. Different, slightly different technique than using one with single probes. Let's turn it up. Let's turn it up. So I'm still set on gear. I'm going to turn the preheat time up too. So let's go to preheat. I like the delay. The delay is working well for me. Let's turn preheat up. Whoops, what am I changing delay? I didn't want to change delay. There we go, preheat. Let's turn the preheat up. How high does it go? 10 milliseconds. Let's turn it up to 10. And let's turn the gear up. How high does the gear go? I think 80 they said, right? 80, yep. Okay, so we're preheat 10 milliseconds, gear 80, and delay is still at 1. And we have the 0.2 millimeter strip. So let's see what we can do here. See if the camera will focus for us. There we go. And I don't know if you can see it. Not that you're going to be watching the screen when you do it, but let me show you. The delay goes across the bar graph. See if I can get it under the camera. Not that you're going to be watching the screen while you're doing it. That seemed like that worked out really well. Let's try one more piece of the 0.2 millimeter. That's pretty dirty right there. Let's go down to the cleaner spot and let's run across it. Then we'll count the number of welds and we'll look at what the battery voltage is, and we'll kind of, I'm not going to do 800 welds. I hope you'll forgive me. I've probably already done more than they say you should do without cleaning. But yeah, there's a little technique to using this. The probes is kind of, the separate probes kind of feels to me more natural. What's going on? Have we quit? Why aren't we welding now? Probably something I'm doing. There we go. Ow, that one on my leg. All right, let's pull some of this up. And let's see how easy it pulls up. Here, let's start down here on this small stuff I did, this 8. Oh yeah, it's just going to tear the nickel strip apart. Yeah, okay, I'm not doing that because that's just going to make a mess. Here is the 1.2 or 1.1 or whatever it was. If I can get under there, we go. Oops, sorry, I'm out of the camera. Yeah, they're not going to come up without a struggle. I wasn't even very hot there either. Yeah, it's not going to come up without a fight. How about the 0.2 stuff? Well, I'm getting that up. But that nickel strip is also pretty thick and stout. About down here. Yeah, this stuff doesn't tear quite as easy as the thinner stuff does. But that. And you know, they're in the video except that first one. So what are we down to? We're down to 3.9 volts and the battery meter is barely off of full. So I'm going to do another one of those just because I think I'm kind of getting the feel for it a little bit better. I'm going to keep it flat on the desk this time rather than try and hold it in my hand. I just think that's going to get me a better result. Absolutely. Trying to hold the pieces in both hands was not the best way to do that. Missed that one. Yeah, there's a lot of technique to it. The more you do it, the probably better you get at it, like anything else. Getting kind of hot to keep my finger there. I'm going to have to go to manual focus here. All right, I'll go to manual focus. There we go. There are the ones I just did. And I don't think I have any issues with that. Let's try ripping them off. Trying not to bash anything with the other end of that bar. This strip is way sturdier than the thin stuff, so it's not tearing as easy, but I'm having to fight that off there. I wound up cutting it in half trying to get it to come loose. These are 18650 batteries. I've got them on a little stand. This is a piece of the 2mm nickel strip. Can you see that? Will it focus on it? 0.21. So I would not normally use 0.2 nickel strip for an 18650 battery pack, but I know you're all going to ask me to do that because that's probably what you would use this for. Why would you buy a one with this much power if you weren't going to use 0.2 strip? So once again, we are set to a preheat of 10 milliseconds, which is its max, and a gear of 80, which is its max, and a delay of 1.0. A delay of 1 second. So let's see if I can get this started. And I've had one too many cups of coffee today, so my hands are a little shaky, but that's just my life, huh? There we go. I normally give it 2 hits. There we go. And we'll just work our way down. All right, there we go. But that leaves our battery voltage at focus camera. Am I going to have to go back to manual focus? No, there it goes. 3.8 volts, and it looks like we're still a little above half. And there's our weld. Now, one of these, I don't think I had it down flush, and I was thinking, you know, if I was doing this for real, I'd probably go in and hit it again. But let's see what we got here. Yeah, they're not coming off easy. Yeah, that did not come off easy at all. And God dang it. Okay, I can't pull that one apart. That one's not coming apart. There we go. Ripped the 2mm or 0.2mm nickel strip up, and that same thing is going to happen there. I tore it up. And we'll just get that there, and we'll just do it like that. And the same thing here. All right, that welded that really well. So 0.2mm nickel strip with the Seesii spot welder, no problem. So there you have it, my friends. The Seesii battery spot welder with 5 amp hour battery can do up to 800 welds and can do 0.2mm nickel strip for 18650s and all other kinds of batteries as well. I want to thank Seesii for sending this out for me to review, for you guys to check out. They are currently $40.99 on Amazon, and it looks like there is a 10% off coupon and possibly even 5% more. I will put links below. Again, thanks to Seesii for sending this out, and thanks to you guys for watching my videos. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.